everybody. Welcome to the call. This is Rob Towles with Smash Fund. Today I have a special guest on the line, Ruth Hedges, crowdfunding expert, really authority in the space out of Las Vegas. And Ruth, are you on the call today?
I am. Very excited to be here.
Great. Well, thanks for jumping on. I wanted to get everybody on the line today so they could hear from one of the world's most authorities in the crowdfunding space, all aspects. And, real quick, can you just give everybody a little bit of background about who you are and how you came into this space?
Sure. So I actually ran an incubator during the dot-com heydays and started writing a lot of business plans and helped dot-commers get access to capital I incubated essentially. And then I started to look at the business plan, which I was writing, and I hated it. And so that got me this idea to create a multiple choice business plan and due diligence reporting system. And in the 2009, the software product I had was people were not able to go to a bank during the height of the recession or an angel or VC. And I actually went to see my congressman, which was Senator Reid, and because I live in Las Vegas, and I said, why do we have this 80-year-old securities law that prevents average Americans from investing in each other when we're in the middle of this recession, right? And people need the capital, but the banks are not lending, and the VCs and angels stopped investing. Well, this got me nowhere, so I went back to the computer and happened to read a blog article about a guy, Sherwood Meese, who was exactly thinking the same thing I was. This was back in 2009, 2010. And I called him up and I said, I think you're my brother from another mother. And that was the beginning of a really great friendship and collaboration. And he told me that he and a bunch of people on the East Coast were actually working on this idea to write what was originally called the startup exemption. And they wanted to go to Congress. They said, this is going to take an act of Congress because these are securities. These are not, this isn't Kickstarter kind of crowdfunding, and you have to have the SEC's approval. So I said, well, then let's go to Congress. And we did. And so we worked on this, and a lot of other great people joined us, like Steve Case from AOL. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce was involved. A lot of people came on board to help us, and we eventually got a version of it passed through the House, 417 congressmen, 2/3 of the Senate, and on April 5th, President Obama signed it into law. April 5th, 2012. It's called Title III, the Crowdfunding Bill of the Jobs Act. Yeah, pretty exciting.
That's amazing. So you're one of the first pioneers in the crowdfunding space, and have been around since inception. Yes.
And it's been an interesting thing to see all the companies that have come after us. So, I was in Washington, D.C. last week at Capitol Hill for the actual legal launch of this out into the public. It was May 16th, 2016. And we were presenting different pieces of technology and different things and celebrating the launch of this with members of Congress, the World Bank, FINRA, the SEC, Doug Rand was there from the White House, and just a whole bunch of other people were there to sort of send this off into the universe to help make it work. And it was very exciting to see the companies that have decided to jump into this. And because we can't do this by ourselves. We need great platforms, and we need great technology providers, and we need the public to be educated on how to do this. Because at the end of the day, if there's no pipeline, right, of compliant ready deal flow, there's no crowdfunding industry. So we're all sort of a big collaboration together here.
Yeah, which is very interesting. It's funny because we know that every single person on the planet has something they want to fund, and there's different aspects of crowdfunding to facilitate all of those different ideas, whether it's on the regulation based, on the equity side, or donation based. What are some of the things that you see crowdfunding turning into? Where is the industry going? How big do you think this industry is going to become?
So in 2012, when we passed the law, at the time there was only what's called reward and donation-based crowdfunding legal, and that it was a $1.7 billion industry worldwide. And last year, 4 years later, it was $35 billion. And really, it's still a very untapped, unknown industry, considering how big other industries are. And so the sky's the limit. I mean, you think about all the people who have never heard of crowdfunding yet, but they have money to crowdfund. And you think of all the causes, all of the projects, all the innovation that has been crowdfunding that sort of lays the groundwork for the kinds of things that resonate with the public. And they're projecting it into the trillions of dollars.
Yeah, I read that the other day. I read that shortly after 2020, we could see crowdfunding move into the trillions, but it makes sense, right? I mean, that's the money being moved already in different financial industries, to fund different companies and different corporations. It's really interesting. You said a lot of people don't maybe know what crowdfunding is, and that's so true until you give them an example, right? It's so funny because we talk about all the different things you could crowdfund, and hey, have you heard of it? And no, I haven't. Then the next thing you find out is they've actually purchased one of the first items from a crowdfunding campaign or helped somebody in need or whatever it is. And now you have them looking at all these different opportunities in the equity space, in the regulation space. And so I think it's really going to be a short period of time before it's a household term, really.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be fascinating. In our DNA. It's going to absolutely be in our DNA. Like, nobody prompts you to open an email, right? It's part of your DNA. You look at your emails. Nobody prompts you, to log on to Facebook. 1.5 billion people are registered on Facebook, and nobody tells them to do that every day. They do that automatically, a certain percentage. Right. So this is going to be, people are going to find their favorite crowdfunding platforms where innovative things happen. I know people that will go to, Indiegogo and Kickstarter all the time, and they're looking for the next cool little widget or gadget or something, and they don't want to miss out on getting that product below manufacturer suggested retail price, or they don't want to miss out on being the first person on the block with that cool little gadget. Other people, obviously causes. I mean, you look at GoFundMe, they've done over $1 billion, and it's a game changer when you grow up like I have, in the world of Jerry Lewis telethons and the amount of time and money that Jerry Lewis spent to raise, hundreds of millions of dollars, and how quickly he could have crowdfunded, without the big production. You know what I'm saying? Just as an example. Yeah. Probably 10 times the money he did had that technology been around all those years. So it's really fascinating. And I think that, when you think about, the other thing that's really interesting to me is how many ideas have never seen the light of day because the person who thought of it said to themselves, well, I don't have any credit or collateral. I'll never make it, through the banking system. And I don't know any angels or VCs. Forget about it. And then they just let, some great idea that we might have needed, or maybe even a scientific project or a cure for cancer, for all we know, that never actually got out there and got materialized because of that mindset,
Well, yeah, absolutely. And it only makes sense because people are more connected now than they ever have been. They just haven't had a vehicle until this point to actually share that idea and allow people to be part of it seamlessly, and being collaborative. Obviously you're a big fan of Smash Fund, what we're doing as a company. Tell us a couple of things that you really like about what we're doing as far as being innovative and very disruptive within the crowdfunding space.
Sure. So, I have been on social media for a very long time. I have a couple of 4 or 5 different Twitter accounts and close to 80,000 Twitter followers. And I can't tell you how many hours I've spent putting all of those followers together, sending out tweets and communicating with these people. Same thing, Facebook, LinkedIn. I have a big following on LinkedIn, and I've never gotten paid for any of that time that I've spent building those networks up. And, I love this idea that as I'm building up my community that's listening to me and following me and sharing, and I get to share what I'm an expert in, which is crowdfunding, that the Smash Fund platform is paying me, sharing in their revenues for the work that I'm doing to help them. It's like help me, help you, help me kind of thing. And I love that. I think it's a brilliant concept.
Yeah, exactly. Really, in the share economy, right? It's funny because people are really involved in this space at a certain level. They just don't recognize it in the crowdfunding space yet. So we're super excited to be the pioneers in revenue sharing within the crowdfunding model. I think it's just a great fit for what you've been doing all these years, and obviously opening this up to the entire world. And Smash Fund having the opportunity to be one of the biggest backers, right?
Yes, and the other thing is that what people need to understand about Smash Fund is that here's how this works. You can't crowdfund without a crowd, right? You have to have a crowd. The crowd doesn't just appear. There's no set it and forget it. There's no build it and they will come. To be successful crowdfunding, you have to have an audience that you've nurtured so that by the time you're ready to launch your campaign, they're ready to fund you. And if you could get paid along the way while you're building that targeted audience, which is what Smash Fund is doing, you're actually creating a lot of the funding that you need while you're building the crowd. So it's like a double form of crowdfunding, where traditional crowdfunding, you're just spending an enormous amount of time building the crowd without any guarantee that you'll ever see any funding. But with Smash Fund, you're guaranteed to get funded as you build your crowd. And it's just a brilliant model.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And it is fascinating what it's going to turn into. I mean, these are the beginning steps. I think we're at the tip of the iceberg that, you touched on a few of those things. But as we expand around the globe, it's really going to be fascinating to hear the stories of what people are funding, the different ideas as people start to communicate to one another and share those ideas, and just this great collaborative, space that we're creating right now. And speaking of that, I want to talk about real quick about your convention you have every year in Vegas. First of all, I want to tell everybody on the line that we will be there. Smash Fund will be there in full force. We're super excited. Within the next couple of months, we're going to start announcing your convention from our website, and there's going to be a really cool invite code for all the Smash Fund users to be able to get on to that site. So anyways, talk about real quick about what the convention is, how you put it together, and what you're expecting this year.
Sure. So after the Jobs Act was signed, I looked at the bill and realized that it was going to require a lot of education. This is not a simple form of Kickstarter crowdfunding. This is, requires a business plan, and evaluation, and a bunch of other things. So I put on this little boot camp in 2012. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that no one had ever actually put on a crowdfunding convention before. So I thought, well, wait a minute. I live in the convention capital of the world. Las Vegas has 22,000 conventions a year, and 25 of the biggest conventions in the world are held here. So I decided the second year to expand the idea and created the Global Crowdfunding Convention. And our platinum sponsor that year in 2013 was Guggenheim Partners, which is a $250 billion hedge fund. And that's when I realized, oh my God, like this is a real thing here now. Like this equity crowdfunding is the attention of a hedge fund, and they want to sponsor my convention. I mean, that was just a big turning point. So we've just been expanding this concept ever since, and we cover reward, donation, equity. We've had, AARP participate. Kiva has participated. We've had, over 150 different corporations and companies and platforms and service providers and crowdfunding, marketing experts, CPAs, some of the biggest law firms. Elinoff, Grossman and Scholl is a huge sponsor. They're the fourth largest IPO law firm in the country. They're coming back again this year to sponsor. We've just been extremely, lucky, and I'm very grateful for the support that we've gotten to put this on, because it's important for the industry to gather once a year and to be able to inspire each other and see what everybody's up to and share stories and educate the public. We can't do this without all of these service providers being educated. We can't do this now without 240 million Americans who are now essentially angel investors. They can invest like an angel into these equity deals, and we have to educate them. So this year we have 13 angel investors from Sandhill Angel Group in Silicon Valley, and they're coming to explain how do they consider an investment? Like, what do they look for to put their money in? And I think this is really important for the public to understand. Obviously, they're going to be there looking for deal flow. So this is a great opportunity for companies that are looking to raise money to meet some of these angel investors as well. We have some crowdfunding all-stars. The vice president of marketing for Elio Motors, which raised $17 million in a Reg A Plus offering the end of last year, is coming to speak, do a fireside chat to explain how he did what he did. And also Bobox, which is this really cool sweatshirt that has like 15, it's like the Swiss Army knife of jackets.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, so they raised $9,100,000 from 44,000 backers. And the CEO of that company is coming also to share his story of how he did that. He was like trying to raise like 50 grand or something. I mean, it was just a stunning story. And so we're going to have a whole bunch of these crowdfunding all-stars. We also have this 12,000 square foot expo. We're going to have a fashion runway, a music stage, a gamer section, where all of these crowdfunded things, music, games, fashion, people can actually sit, play, touch, feel, and shop for these products from the expo floor.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've had the liberty of looking at some of the things that you've done in the past and some of the shots from the convention and read some of the stories, and it's absolutely amazing. Now, it's in October. What are the dates again for October?
It's Saturday. The pre-event is Saturday night, October 15th. We're doing Crowdfund Live Invest. And then the conference starts, which is we're going to let the audience, almost like American Idol, the people in the audience, if they've registered with a funding portal, after the presentation, they can make what's called a testing the waters or live investment for Reg A Plus. And then on Sunday morning, we open the conference for 2 days. Sunday night, we have a big cocktail party in the expo. And then there's another event called the Crowdfunding Awards on Sunday night, which is another separate event where we're giving awards to different campaigns and different best video and the best platforms and just a whole bunch of different awards. And then we have a red carpet and an after party in the London Club, which is a private club that we have under contract with Planet Hollywood. So that's a smaller event for about 250 people who VIPs and sponsors. And then we have another full day on Monday.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a really good block of time, and it's in Vegas, right? Easy to get in and out of.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes, and it's fun. It's easy, and it's it's dead center in the middle of the Strip, Planet Hollywood. So it's once you're there, you can go across the street to the Bellagio for dinner, or to the city center is diagonally across the street. So it's a great venue. We're excited to be there.
Absolutely. Now, can you also share with everybody real quick some of your websites to where they can learn about you a little bit, learn about the convention?
So you can go to thegccworld.com, thegccworld.com. That's the convention. You can Google crowdfunding convention or global crowdfunding convention, and we're everywhere. We sort of own the space. And the other website we have is called Crowdfunding CRM, which is Customer Relationship Management.com, Crowdfunding CRM. And this is the technology that we built to help people understand the entire mechanics of how to set up a campaign and then help them build a crowd long before they ever launch their campaign. This is really a critical part to the success of how this all works. Kickstarter has done over $2 billion of crowdfunding, but only 154 campaigns have ever done more than $1 million. So we need to really improve upon the success rate of crowdfunders, and we want to make sure they're really prepared. It's the difference between going out in the world with a high school diploma or a college degree. And we want to make sure the people that are crowdfunding have that college degree and have everything ready to present to the public, especially in equity, because the SEC requires certain disclosure documents like a business plan, evaluation. And then we also want to, make sure they have a crowd, a targeted audience that they can tap into once they go live. That's critical to their success. So we've put all that together at crowdfundingcrm.com.
Okay, great. I really like how you equip everybody, and that's the neatest part of this is, nobody is short of ideas, right? And everybody wants to start to enter the space, but there's an education process. Even though I have to tell you, it is one of the simpler education processes that's out there. I mean, this is much simpler than so many platforms we've seen over the years. And what I found is when people really start to learn about crowdfunding, they almost can't sleep at night because, they start to realize that they can finally live their dreams, no matter how old they are. They might be in their later years and realize, after grinding away at whatever job it is or trying to get their idea off the ground, that now there's a platform, that helps facilitate that. But more importantly, Ruth, that you're actually helping educate people through that process. So first of all, I have to thank you so much for everything that you've done over the many years to educate people.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and I'm excited to be, working with you and Smash Fund to see where this all goes. And I hope to meet a bunch of your members at the Global Crowdfunding Convention in October on the 15th through the 17th, and really get to, share how powerful this is. I mean, there's some amazing people at companies that are there to help support, all of the different moving parts of this. And the first crowdfunding campaign really isn't the story, especially for small businesses, because once they've created proof of concept, I mean, you get 1,000 people or several thousand people to, think of the Pebble watch. Those people did $10 million in 2012 in 30 days. They went back 2 years later. They raised $1 million in 45 minutes, and then they did $20 million in 30 days. The same company, they did two gigantic crowdfunding campaigns, which have
awesome.
Tens of thousands of pledgers, of backers. That's the best proof of concept you can get. And guess what? They're in Best Buy now. You can buy their watch in Best Buy. And I think they have a hard time getting that deal done because they already had proof of concept, which is a very powerful thing that you don't get with an angel investor, or you don't get that with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, we're so excited to attend your conference in full force, and as I've told people, we're starting to bleed this out a little bit, but we will have a promotional code for your conference within the next 60 days, so everybody could start gearing up and making arrangements and be part of this. But Ruth, I believe we'll be bringing thousands of people to your conference. Our users can have the chance to meet each other for the first time. We'll have a chance. A lot of our people on the executive team will have a chance to meet a lot of our users, meet you as well. So we are definitely crashing your party and excited about it.
We're excited.
It'll be a great time.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an awesome time and a great introduction for all the Smash Fund members to really start to understand the power behind crowdfunding and behind the Smash Fund platform and just all the great things that we can do now and long into the future together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, and off we go. You know, everybody, welcome to the space. And Ruth, thank you so much for just taking the time today and introducing yourself. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Take care, and everybody, good luck crowdfunding.
Get your own Smash Fund profile, invite 5 or more friends to do the same, and bring your projects to life today.